to the age of 18, Waec. And we have a very notable guest, Nze Nnemeka Zano, PhD. He's a Chief Lecturer Emeritus, Federal Polytechnic, Wana, Ebonyi State. Good morning, Alex.
Good morning, Signature TV. Thank you for cutting edge technology in your broadcasting. All Nigerians, you're welcome.
Okay. How did the news, how did you receive of the 18 years embarking into any tertiary institution? First, writing why did you receive the news?
Actually, my dear, I must tell you that it was a good job done by the Minister of Education, Professor Tahir Maman, for him, because that means he knows what he's doing and to do. If I may answer you that briefly on details from your interrogation. Hello.
Okay, so you actually think that children or people should wait until they are 18 years before they write WAEC or before institutions?
You see, the truth is that we have formal, informal education level. At the informal level, child or the children go through the parents will begin to teach breastfeeding and all that. Later, they also progress to from the crèche to the pre-nursery. So, and like you and I should know, the child would have gotten up to 6 years or minors before getting into primary. At the primary school, you have junior secondary, then senior secondary school, and all these things would have been at the age of 16 to 17. Fortunately, some parents are thinking they are doing their children good. We fast forward them, and that child suffer emotional trauma, psychological. So it is a good thing coming as it were in this time, at the right time. Like I said earlier, the minister knows what he is doing. So it is the right thing to help them. They are not helping their words. Okay? They are not helping them at all. If I may explain more, you discover that they need into writing Waec, because a lot of things are many years ago, before you could get to primary school, there used to be parents taught us you must have cross your right hand the other side of your ears. But these days, because particularly they looking for, some of them looking for popularity, looking for money, they ignore all. But we know educationally, because some of us have been students at the tertiary level, any one of them who wouldn't go, you a practical experience, even somebody very, as the child was so intelligent, and he was joined primary 4 to go to secondary school, and from secondary, and yes, that child graduated with very good result. She's a lot of worry to the parents. Last year, learning to me bitterly, and I said, look, it was because of this scheme And you people thought you were doing the child good without knowing that there is different from intelligence, academic intelligence, and maturity, emotional maturity. And so I told that you people are paying for all these years you've been jumping in primary school. And that is the real truth. Designed our education system and handed over to us, knew what they did. You know, I could recall nostalgically many of my classmates who finished primary 5, they jumped to secondary school. And it cost them what we call in engineering differential thermal shock, just supposed to mean differential educational shock. They never refuse, will normally recover. Some of us, including yours sincerely, six years in primary school, and by the special grace of God, are stabilized. Anybody who is not stabilized, the problem in other sources. That's how much I can say on that.
Okay, so
hello.
It's rational, you know. Well, from your explanation, I think you do. But to those chaps that are very brilliant, they are exceedingly brilliant. That at the age of 15, they are even be done or halfway done with tertiary institution. So
good. That was exactly what I was trying to before. I benefited in a bad somebody like that from my village, if I may tell you, in my relations. The child was very brilliant, like you indicated, and he was being fast forwarded. No primary 5, then to secondary school. And the person had one of the critical courses, specifically and graduated exactly at the age of 23, 22. Them started. Okay, and the father was literally asking me what I said. Look at it. But give that child the time. Lost because when you one of the things you disconnect by fast forwarding him or her from his peers. What you gain from your peers. Even in those days when we were in the secondary school, you will be punished, you will be disciplined. All of them cumulate to helping that child to be emotionally. Anybody who didn't go through here in the primary, then you rush to secondary school, you are working to, you see in those, we used to use a lantern, we used to do 90 or solar. That child you are fast forward, and you see even these days about 18 subjects saying that there's a mural. Some of those children under 10 years, under 7 years, they will be disconnected from their parents. Some of the parents are there with their dear Chanja Market, Ido Park, they are there schooling, and the parents are showing money here and there. No parental care, no parental discipline. Our people in Igbo say, Eke or Eke. There is the portion we do, there are the portions the school teachers will do. These days you see a little child at 10. Some parents can't thinking they will help in them. I even have one of the relations even sent abroad at the primary level. And you are here in Nigeria pursuing money here and there, and eventually there is, them already paying for it. So the child has to develop physically, the child psychologically, the child has to, those trauma, they're already talking from what I know. I'm not guessing. Okay? So that child, he said, thank God the Minister of Education, for the first time in Nigeria, we are right. And we must get it right. So it's not the education thing. Some of the parents will be reacting, complaining, and let me underline it again. You can also take it to the bank. If the parents who think they are doing their children good, they are not doing anything. During this time of holiday, for many of them, you see the extramural class, in creche, people in pre-nursery. What extra? And you don't sit down with children to discuss, to peer, and to tell folk stories or like we say in Igbo. Nothing. So all the child, unfortunately, you see, they will be speaking wrong and bad English. Semi-illiterate parents teaching, and they do some of these things of God. The Bible, you and I, he said, bring up and teach him, and when he grows up, he will not depart from it. You see them to be abandoning parents, to be abandoning handwork, basketing, and all those things, and they are in these schools every day. French, you are teaching, not even in our Igbo language or Hausa language. You are teaching them foreign language, teaching them, but like America, they teach their children creativity. They teach them critical thinking. But in Nigeria here, you see cramming. So after primary school, they will just go to the even some of the teachers, bad ones, they will just go there, help them during this time of holiday, or even during this. You see some parents, they will be doing assignment for their, which is you already educating them how to be cheating, becoming a mini miracle center for them at home. You see some the giving assignment, and they at home, you will do everything and give the child. Because me, my mother, my father died before I even got to primary school. But I was in all their stuff, and here you and I are. But you see some parents for their children, thinking they are helping them, not knowing they are preparing them. If I may quote to Professor Kenneth Dike of blessed memory, the first of, so they know they are causing pauperization of the children. And so that's why you see many of them, they will write Waec A1, B1. Ask them to write ordinary letters. They can't write it. And why? It's due to this fast forwarding. We are coming because my people say Natavubo. So now to get it right, blessed be God and blessed be Nigeria.
Okay. So Alex, how do you balance this with the fact, the performing acts about performing well in their studies? And what are the potential implications of this decision, particularly on the mental and well-being of affected students?
If I got you correctly, you see, if we had followed, for instance, if we had followed the child is born, then the census or Bureau of Statistics, they will normally database the age of. Some of our parents, if I may start that way, they are particularly in the north, where you see a lot of underage marriages. Their problem, what they think is problem of their heads. You see, immediately the primary level, the education is free now. So just free, let them go and get, okay? Or let them, without knowing that without proper education, cannot perform. So psychologically, in the brain behavior of the child, you will even know that this child is not. You see some of them, they don't even know how to respect, they don't even know how to behave in a gathering. And see a lot of psychological imbalance, inequality, and trouble everywhere. Problems we are having here and there of drug addiction have been disconnected from their parents. They've been disconnected because class 1 or primary 1, primary 2, primary 4, primary 6. They all have basic and essential to be inoculated or hammered into the brain of that child. The fast forwarding, that child has been disconnected. He doesn't even have, like now, I can recall my classmates in primary 5, in 6, in 3, and so on and so forth. But such a child is from his peers, and there is a lot you learn from them. Okay, it has a lot of dangerous and futuristic damning child growing up. Okay.
Could this decision actually contribute to widening age inequality between the rural and the urban areas?
It may or may not. Like you see, normally at the rural domain, many people obey that stratum or strata, if you please. We grow, and before at around age 6, enter primary school, after pre-nursery and all that. But at the level or developed level, if you like, you see many years where they fast forwarded. Even this during our time, some of us, you might fail primary 2 and you will be asked to repeat. There's nobody repeats anything again. Everybody is being pushed to fast. And at the end of the day, you discover that problem. And when that person gets to higher institution, you discover that gap, that lacuna, which the parents didn't recognize, we begin to pay off. You discover some of them, you are teaching them in computer science, the person is engineering, the person is in mass communication, the person is disconnected because the writing had not been done. That's a problem. And that's part of what is worsening our educational system. God bless him, Maman Tahir, on the singular courage and support to say openly, clearly, so that parents will be guided. Children, any good, the child has to be developed. The person is intelligent. After intelligence, there is a man, and the two of them work simultaneously together. The intelligence creation without maturity. Like now, you from your dressing, you see that integrity. Okay, not that I'm pampering you, but you see some of them. You see them nearly going naked because they think is the right thing to do without knowing in appearance.
Oh, do you think that this law that's been they're putting forward to us might promote more in abroad? And how does this policy compare to similar policies in other climes, in other countries?
In developed climes, some of us are also used to see. In America, for instance, or Britain and people like that, you discover it's even part of child violation, abuse of child's rights or violation. To give a child a responsibility and burden he or not carry because of underage. In developed climes, in like America and other people, you discover that your particular level of age you must get to before admitted into any school over there. Oh. So plot, and you must meet it. If you don't meet it, nobody will admit you. And again, you discover that part of the problem in Nigeria outside finish quickly and get married. Let this person finish, help the other siblings. And it's not just finishing, but has the person finished? In developed climes, the provision for security to give their or graduates jobs after graduation. But here we are, and I discovered that somebody will graduate no job. So you discover, and that's what is to make them move there. When they, unless they falsify their ages, there are certain, because it's child, what do you call it, violation of child. Like here, you see many of the children along the streets caught at the age of 3 due to hardship. You see some of them even at the age of 10. Over there, such things don't happen. But his parents got their children more than they could cater for. You see somebody, a woman, just 80 children, born in order to use my own children. Are you getting it? Without any proper provision. And so that's what is making, let them finish and join driving cyclists or doing whatever thing. And but in the developed climate, they don't accommodate such things. You must meet them. So if we now begin to enforce it in our education things, then blessed be God, and we are forward at the right, on the right track.
Okay. How do you think this particular decision might affect Nigeria's institution? I mean, in terms of commitment to education and child's rights. Does it infringe on a child's right?
My sister, believe you me, you see every Igbo we say so we have our educational decisions in Nigeria, and that international, and even America or Britain or Russia, wherever they are, they have their policies. So we are implementing our own from what we see, and so the international community will even greet us, cheer us. We have a standard. We know where we are going. But where a child at 12 years can write Waec, 12, then we know that we have hazard in decision making. And that's not the way to, even like now, TV. Blessed be your TV and the crew there. We did this meeting, this discussion for 9 o'clock. And exactly at 9. And I thank God for that. Supposing you schedule this meeting for 9, admitting me by 11, then you sincerely would have yanked off long. But thank God you people kept time. And you sincerely too, I kept the time. That's the way you have a culture. Nigeria has an educational culture. America has their own culture. And we can borrow some of the things they are doing. They can also rent from us some of the things we are doing better. Areas we are performing better in Nigeria. Like, I remember when some of us I was doing basketting. But go to all these primary schools, it teaches them needlework again. Nobody teaches them plaiting again. Work, if they still do, it is monetized. And that's a quick imagine the innovative and creative nature of the child. So, in any exam, there is a score for English, arithmetic, and all that. But these days, I cannot remember where I live here in Afibo, in Ebonyi State. I have 2 primary schools opposite my house. I've never seen her bringing aziza or broom as a handwork. I've never seen basket or needlework done by them to the school. The only thing you see them report card here and there. Developed mentally to think. But in America, you mentioned, they have all these things. If you go to China, for instance, you see things, you see a typical Chinese girl or boy, they how to use a puzzle and the computer softwares to things. They are thinking, creative thinking. And that's why a lot of coming from China, for instance, but in Nigeria here, and some of these schools, they don't care about it. Many of them, same plus, they're all pursuing money. They're all pursuing population. They all put in cram. After cramming, you memorize. After memorizing, after the exam, forget the thing completely. But our people say that, see, and whatever you have done practically, you can hardly forget. Like now, I did basketing when I was in primary school. I work. Till today, I can do them. I can practice them. But the children of these days, the pupils of these days in different primary, tell them to do basketing. Tell them to bring, even sweep. Them don't even know how to sweep again. Are you there?
But how can they know how to, when the teachers don't teach them? Defense, how can they know how to make baskets when their teachers don't teach them? I wanted to ask you as well, are there other alternatives that you think that will be available to underage students who are on the exams? And also, what penalties do you think that will put out to schools or individuals found to be aiding candidates writing the exams?
Rules are meant to be obeyed until we begin to sledgehammer, including the fair crack of the whip. If, for instance, each primary school, there will be practical work, basketing, needlework of hair, and so on and so forth. Any teacher, any headmaster or headmistress who would insist that ties look at how we will wear him or her by the different. Normally, the zonal education board, they are the regulatory and supervisory people. They should tighten their bit for. That is what is needed, because the thing in Nigeria here, schools run by private people or even public ones, then okay, the principal is this, is related to this governor, is related to this president. But if you, the rules are known, never offense, then the crack of the whip will go. Until then, nothing serious will be happening. So we give the rule to instructors, to masters and headmistresses, CCs or private schools, to their proprietors and proprietresses, and so on and so forth. And from the Minister of Education, federal or state, we do the need, only way to go. So anybody who we then begin to admit on the HA to take an exam, because thank God for IPs, for instance, level. So you discover we already have a database of Nigerians, particularly federal workers. And there, your age, you must declare your national identity card names. Your age is already to go and write Waec. And you've already told us that you were born in 1999, because you want to go to use service. You are now backdating it, and the software cut that for you. Unless you tell greater lies, we should have different dates of birth, which is not possible. So thank God for that database. Now, every person trying to write to Neco, you must bring your name, declare your name card. And with that, It is to capture and prevent age falsification, and is to help the child, is to help Nigeria, so that we can compare favorably with developed countries. Why they are ahead of us, and we are here manipulating ages of civil servants, federal and state, who should have disqualified them from working still in different governments. They are literally coming to Unpo or stick, pretending to be born these people were born during the time of Mungo Park and Mary Celeste, pretending to be younger. It's because we don't have that all our databases, which now many of them are trying.
Okay, you know, you talked about teachers, encourage and teaching them practicals like how to make brew or any of those. But I would recall that in other climes, or any student that participates in such project, out of dividend, for instance, if it's cake that was baked, they take part. Every student that partook in that project takes part. However, in this case, if the students finish making, the teachers cut away with it. So how does that to participate in any further projects like that?
If you see, the thing is this: if somebody makes or basket, immediately it is called in any exam, you'll be scored. That child has to begin to expect any court from it. It's like in your church or in my church, and give make a vow. Maybe you tell God, help me, I will give a goat to a fowl, or 4 tubers of it. Giving the offering, you go to the priest. You don't have any right to go to dinner for part of the tuber of yam. For you to eat. It's wrong, my sister. You've already given it. It is those in the parsonage of different churches. The pastor eat that one. You have lost it. So any child, you bring a broom, any broom, you should have reserved one at home. Like at the undergraduate level, normally ask students to produce 4 bound project at their chosen field. So the students should know that those 4 projects submitted to the different university or polytechnic, he or she should make a copy for himself. We would not want to know that you can make 5 or 6. Are you getting it? Something the student should not expect any court from the cell. Okay? But if the school decides to pamper you, court, okay, blessed be God for him, but it's not the normal thing, my sister.
No, how does that justify the act of the teachers? Because, like I mentioned, other clients, if they partake in such activity, they are owing of the dividend. If, for instance, they gather together to make broom or cake, or any edible like buns or all those things, yeah, right? So partake in, they also take part in the share, not the teachers, or like you mentioned, the parsonage, the whole lot. You know, I'm saying this in a bid to sort of excite the student more in such activities.
I agree with you. We talk from experience. When I was in primary school many years ago, than 50 years ago, okay? So after the handwork, something like cassava farming or corn farming, the teachers, after harvesting the corn or okra, you one wrap of the okra, they take home. But it's a privilege. Okay, that's a bet normally the child may be given part of the cake to test, but Peradventure, the school authority wise. There is no problem with that because after all, even when that child is cake, you specifically mentioned even the smell, the odor, what do you call it in cooking? I may not get the right jargon. Already perceiving it, like some of you when you go to kitchen, when you as you are cooking, you see the smell of the maggi, of the stew, of the fed, or you are even perceiving it already. That's why good women, and I can bet you belong to them. You see men are the cooking, they don't eat much because they've already enjoyed from the kitchen. Are you getting me? So it's part of the reward for it.
Thank you so much, Alex. We appreciate your input this morning on Signature Morning Matter and hearing people's opinion, which is vital.
Thank you so very much, Signature TV. Like I said much earlier, we're always bringing cutting edge technology. The other time you in, it was the same thing. So continue to do the good thing, and this God to bless you, ancient and modern. Thank you, and thank you for watching us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, my sister.
Signature Morning, and you're on Signature TV right now. We're bringing you breaking. But like I said, it's the very hard for you. Before I give you the breaking news, let's go for entertainment news.